Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with Dr. Marmur, who's a wonderful colleague and a very, very good friend. We met many, many years ago at a meeting in New York where she practices, where I was speaking on photodynamic therapy, and she was also a top expert in photodynamic therapy. So I think our interests merge, and photodynamic therapy is where you use light plus a chemical to activate something, but you can also use light in a photodynamic way, even without chemicals. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about is how light can turn on or off biological processes. It's really interesting. Dr. Marmur has a really extensive educational background. She went to Vassar undergrad. She did science at Berkeley. Then she moved to Mount Sinai, where she did internal medicine. Then she went to Albert Einstein, where she did her medical school and graduated AOA, something I cannot brag about. And then she did her residency in dermatology at Cornell. And then finally, she did a fellowship in lasers with Dr. David Goldberg. She also had honors and distinctions in research, and she's always been on the forefront of research. When we worked in PDT, she was doing some really interesting work in genomics. And it is my pleasure to welcome her. We've been connected all along, but we reconnected recently at the American Society of Derm Surgery meeting where she introduced me and some of our other colleagues to this device that she has invented and created. And what's super interesting about the device, besides the fact that it is an awesome device and light treatments, which is a photodynamic treatment, is kind of in the foreground right now. People are asking a lot about red and blue light. And that's very interesting. But what's really interesting is that Dr. Marmur found that green light was super effective, and nobody's really talking about green light. So I wanted to ask her first, what got you interested in green light?
I think that, well, first of all, thank you for having me today and for all of your patients who are on this webinar today. So thank you so much. Your team is amazing. And I know you are an expert as well in red light. And thank you for giving this lecture on green light with me at the ASDF as well. You're an expert now. So I'm really excited to be here talking to you. My interest in green light was really based on us using blue light so often for acne and precancers, red light becoming so popular, but really not having any science, really, really good science with skin. And then green light, which is so close in wavelength to the blue light, it's in between. And green light is what we use on our IPL and BBL laser treatments, really, which are really LED. They're super high level LED in the office. So the question was, how can we expand what we're doing in the office at home with a device that can give people improvement in their skin texture, tone, and even maybe the health of their skin?
Great. That's so exciting. And of course, green is so on topic right now. I don't know how many people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing experience, and I can't wait to go again. So we're all witches here, right? We're the
Good wishes, yes.
we're the good witches and the bad witches. Okay, so how can you explain the science behind how green light targets anti-aging concerns?
Yeah, I think the history of people wanting to know about how to use skincare at home, I think historically has been very confusing to people because they forget that their skin is actually like alive and it has circulation and it has interstitial fluid and it's got all these cells. But if you think about when you get like a mosquito bite and you have this instant reaction, that's because your skin is alive and it's got all these incredible mechanisms in it. So I wanted to study how does light pass through the barrier of our skin. We're not using chemicals, we're just using light, and it can pass right through the barrier of our skin into those living cells, right into the mitochondria. And let's see like how can it help us. So we had 4 IRB clinical studies. This means that they were passed through a review panel and that they were considered ethical studies for people. We had people of all different skin colors and all different ages. And we wanted to see how they looked with this light. So how do we?
Ellen, can I ask you one question? Let's go back for a second.
Yeah.
Because many people may not know what mitochondria are. You mentioned that they go into the mitochondria.
Yeah.
Explain what that is.
Mitochondria, so in every cell of our body, inside are all these tiny little, let's say M&Ms. These are organelles, and inside each organelle that's floating around is DNA and other things that are meant to provide proteins and molecules and pathways to improve our skin or any organ. So mitochondria are little tiny organelles, those little M&Ms, in every cell of the body, every cell of every animal, every cell of every plant. And all it is the energy center for those mechanisms to repair and rejuvenate and keep that cell healthy. So light has this amazing, inside that mitochondria are this, it's called the electron transport chain. And it's, if you think about, sometimes I think about it as like a little roller coaster with all these different cars on it. And one car is red and one car is blue and one car is green. And that's where those different color lights hit in that little roller coaster to improve the electron transport chain. So we know that red light hits one particular area and you get ATP, which is an energy that helps boost the cellular mechanisms. Then blue light also hits a different aspect of that to improve ATP. And now we have information that green light also is absorbed by that mitochondria in a cytochrome is what it's really called. And it improves the ATP to improve the molecular aspects of your skin cells.
Great. I just want to paraphrase too for those of us who aren't scientists on this call that she's basically, it's like our gas tank, like the mitochondria is where we get all our energy. And so it's kind of exciting to think that light passes through the skin into the cell because mitochondria are inside our cells and actually has an effect to turn on this mechanism in our body to make energy for our cells. So that's pretty exciting.
It's
Okay.
so exciting. And I don't use gasoline as our metaphor anymore because now we have EVs. So
Okay.
I love that too. So it's like charging up your cell. It's definitely the way it is. So what we did here, we'll go back one slide, sorry. We took real biopsies of skin. And when you learn about vitamin C and other ingredients on the skin, they're really looking at photographic analyses of skin. But what I wanted to know is what is really, really happening in a significant way under the skin. And so we had real life people having their real lives, smoking or drinking or whatever, getting sun damage, and using the green LED light on only one side of their face. And we took biopsies after 6 weeks. And then we expanded the molecular genome, and we worked with Rockefeller University here in New York and Cornell, and they found really interesting findings from the green light only. So here you have showing some of us, our skin age on photographic analysis went down by 4 years. So my skin age went from 53 to 48 when using the green light. The person here on your screen went from true skin age 50 to 46. And so we were able to show 56 to 53, 57 to 53, that real people had real results in many different ways. Their wrinkles, their spots, their pore size, their texture, their redness, their porphyrins, which is usually how much acne bacteria they have living on their skin. You might think about microbiome, and brown spots and sun damage spots, all improved with the green light. And this is the last clinical slide I'll show you. Even after 2 weeks using the different lights and in different skin tones, you see an improvement in wrinkles, texture, redness, and brown spots, even after just 2 weeks. And here this shows that the different lights do different things. So blue light is something you think about for acne, even precancers. Green light, we're thinking texture, wrinkles, improvement of collagen. And red light here is an improvement in the anti-red spots and anti-inflammation. And we can show you that all different skin types respond well to the light. It doesn't heat your skin. It's non-thermal. There's no chemicals. It's very safe and natural for your skin. And we had a very good improvement in pores and texture and dark spots. Again, these studies were out to 6 weeks. So finally, I don't want to get too scientific because Dr. Taub will have to paraphrase for me, but we found with the green light on that genetic study that different types of inflammation were very much reduced. The retinoic acid pathway was increased with green light, and the collagen pathway was also increased with green light. That explains why we're seeing these clinical benefits as well.
That is just, I was just absolutely mind blown when I looked at these. And also, I'm not sure if you said it, but how many times a day and for how long do people have to sit in front of this light?
Okay, so we use the light, actually, let's go back to the, we recommend people sit in front of the light for 3 times a week. And are we able to show me the no screen? So I'll show you how it works if I could. So we're going to show you the different lights and how you do it. So this is the light. It actually holds your cell phone. So the cell phone can go right in the light. Ooh, I dropped it. But when it's sitting on your desk with this little tripod, the battery is in this handle. So you're not wearing something on your face, which has reports of hurting the eyes. You're using your cell phone just to waste some time. And you're like, I just got a text message from a friend, and you're actually treating. So you can see my face, neck, and chest is actually already treated. Now the light is actually in front of my keyboard at my computer. So I can have this entire webinar with you with green. You can see the green light on my.
So cool. That's awesome. You
And
look just like Alpha now.
And so there we are. That's how you do it, because otherwise it takes an hour a day with these other little tiny wands, or 3 minutes of intensity with those weird awkward masks that people complain their eyes hurt. This stays on for 20 minutes, and our study was 3 times a week. And when it's done, the little internal timer goes off and you are on with your day.
That is amazing. That is so exciting. So, yeah. So what specific conditions do you think would benefit the most from the light treatments?
I can speak to, I can speak to the green light, which is really for people who want to preserve their very good skin. So we call it preservation aging. Everybody wants to age well, so collagen benefits, and then all those different qualities of sun damage, like the brown spots and inflammation we showed went away a little bit. It suggests that it reduces these inflammations that have been implicated in dry skin like eczema. And so with the benefit of this, we believe that you're going to improve your skin barrier as well. So some of the claims that you see on your cosmeceuticals at home are the ones that you will benefit from with the green light 3 times a week.
Do you need to use it with bare skin? Like you shouldn't have makeup or sunscreen or anything on it.
You don't want anything that's going to block the light. So makeup has mica. So the shimmer in makeup will reflect the light away from you. And then the sunscreens and sunblocks will also usually reflect light away from you. One really important fact about LED light is that it's using visible light, and visible light is not UV light. So people do ask, is this safe? And what we love about green light is that the safety profile is excellent. Our bodies, our skin and our eyes are the 2 organs that evolved to use the visible light spectrum. Other lights, like UV light, are too strong for our skin and too strong for our eyes, which is why they're dangerous. But visible light, the red, the blue, the green, and amber, are actually safe for our skin. So you don't need to wear the eye protection with this light unless you have some some photosensitivity. Our light comes with a filter right on top of it, but we do put eye protection in it if you feel sensitive. That is another question that a lot of people ask, like, what do I do? But we say, don't stare at the light. Be doing something else, like watch TV, read a book. The point is to multitask and put your light somewhere within 1 to 2 feet from your skin so that you can get that whole surface area treated.
That's so exciting. You might you might not have noticed, again, a little scientific point. She showed in the study that the green light turned on what we call retinoid receptors. And what does that mean? Okay, so everybody knows you should use retinol and Retin-A for your skin, but the reason is because it does turn on certain processes in your body. But many, many people cannot tolerate retinoids and retinols. And I know that there are people who are very sad about that because they feel left out. Well, here's a good way to actually be able to turn on those same processes without even using a cream. And the other thing that I was thinking about it was, it's also good for probably for resetting your own personal clock. Because if you got up in the morning and you used a little bit of yellow light while you were drinking your coffee to kind of wake up a little bit, and then, of course, then you can go over your emails and turn it on to the green light, and then you'll be ready for your day because you'll be re-energized and you'll be awake. It'll be great.
One thing I forgot to mention, first of all, the retin-A receptor, like you said, I'm one of those people who was disqualified from using retinoic acid on my face because it just dries me out and makes me look worse. So for all these years, I was like, I don't really believe in this retinol stuff. But now that I use the green light, it really has helped my rosacea because it does fortify your skin. We know that the retinoic acid pathway helps fortify your skin. One other thing I forgot to mention that was a mind-blowing thing with the science, we weren't looking for anything specific. So that retinoic acid pathway, mind-blowing. Anti-inflammation, also amazing because it's like your antioxidants, like your vitamin C, all that stuff. Amazing. Collagen, of course, we all want the collagen. But something called browning of white fat was crazy interesting. We all lose volume over time with aging, and that's one reason we get wrinkles and laxity, which is drooping. So the fact that we could energize our fat, the browning means you have more of those mitochondria batteries in your fat cells now. It means that you're revving up something that was like soft tissue that we never knew what we could do with. So I cannot believe, I was so excited about that. And I think that just opens up a lot of questions with how do we rejuvenate the fat pads in our face in areas where we want them.
And maybe you could design a new one for the body.
Oh, yes.
So what led you to actually like create a device? And what prompted you to do that?
I think that it was an aha moment in the shower where I have all my creative ideas. I'm sure everybody has some place where they're like, oh yeah. As an academic at Mount Sinai, I had all these patients who came in with cosmeceutical irritant contact dermatitis. So this was back in the 2000s, 2010, and cosmeceuticals were awesome. Everybody was like, you have to buy this vitamin C serum, you have to buy this retin-A. And people would come in with a bag full of products, and they were doing chemical experiments on their face in the hopes of looking better, but it would backfire. So how did we prove something was safe and scientific and effective in the name of beauty, where it was like a desert? Nobody actually cared really that much about like women's beauty and skin on a scientific level. So I thought, well, I'm a laser surgeon and I'm a skin cancer surgeon and I'm a woman and I want to age well. So how do we marry our knowledge about photodynamic therapy using blue light? And how do we expand that to marry that with skincare in a way that is truthful and authentic and proven and safe for women? So I invented the device, which is a whole process, and I'm happy to talk about that to anyone who's entrepreneurial. That was fun. And then I invented a skincare line that is activated by the light. So we have in these serums, we have natural based ingredients that are also light sensitive. And I took that from when I was hiking Mount Kilimanjaro and I saw these little tiny flowers and plants that were taking from the environment every little bit of energy just to survive. And I thought, oh, wow, our skin is doing that too. We are environmental, like our skin is reacting to our environment. And that made me understand that our skin is photodynamic by definition. And then how do we take that and improve our skincare so that we can use light activated skincare and harness that biology in our skin to look even better?
That's great. That's an awesome story. I love it.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting, and I just can't even imagine. And it's going to be the more you were talking, I was thinking about, I just had a lady yesterday who came in to see me. I don't even remember what she wanted, but I couldn't stop looking at her skin. It wasn't her skin. It was like, just laxity and wrinkles and the loss of volume and the usual aging concerns. Her skin looked so awful that I was thinking, and I kept saying to her, why are you so red? Why are you so red? It didn't look like rosacea. And she said, oh, I think it's because I've been using red retinol too much. And I was like,
Oh.
boom, because it like can really just dry you out and just take all the life out of your skin if it goes too far. And this is going to be so great for people who have not the ability to use a lot of products, or even people who have contact dermatitis to things like propylene glycol, where they can't find any products that don't have the thing that they're allergic to, and still be able to participate in skincare. And also, I have to say, to be very economic. I mean, if you could get your skincare without having to buy all these really expensive products, or at least it could enhance the products. And that would be another positive.
I
Um, so
100%. I mean, chemicals, you want to avoid as many chemicals as possible, right? And also for sustainability, I know that's something we're talking about, going green. And so this is one device that should last you years and years and years. And it's doing what all these different type of these bottles that you had in your closet were just waiting for you to use. So it kind of simplifies your skincare routine. And I call it natural tech beauty. Like, what can we use that's natural, light? What can we use that's high tech, LED, that's now even more affordable, accessible, powerful, pure? And then beauty, which is very motivating. So beauty isn't all about vanity. I think beauty is actually about health. And when you look good, you actually look well, right? And you feel well. And that's a very empowering thing. So I love LED light. And I think it's just the beginning of the future of a lot of science. And maybe even now that we know that this green LED light might help eczema or psoriasis with those different pathways we discovered, maybe pharmaceutical companies will actually come out with LED activated medicines that we can apply to our skin and use less steroids on our skin. So I really think there's a lot of promise in the LED light.
that is very exciting. I'm excited to use it myself. And also, I agree with you 100%. That was one thing I learned from photodynamic therapy, which is typically used for people who have pre-skin cancer and skin cancer, to help remove those things through this treatment. And I still use that to this day quite a bit. But you can really see that when people have more normal looking skin, it actually is much healthier. You don't look at somebody who has normal or beautiful skin and think, oh, they have pre-skin cancer. It's not the same as like some other things. I mean, it's possible that you could look really good, at least for a while, and harbor a cancer inside or something like that. Eventually, that will probably affect how you look and how you feel. But with the skin, it's definitely right on the surface. You can see it. And, I think we all want, people poo-poo it, that women's concerns have been poo-pooed forever, but we have them nonetheless. And, anything that we can do that will make us feel good about it. And also, sorry, I'm just rambling, but home devices. Sometimes I found in the past that a home device that really requires me to work hard at it winds up like going on the shelf, or kind of like, it doesn't get used. I feel like this is something I'm going to put on my kitchen table. And in the morning, I'm going to turn it on when I'm drinking my coffee and like trying to wake up and looking at my phone. So, like that first 20 minutes, it will just be like I'm getting something even while I'm kind of just basically vegging. And I love that idea.
That is how this was designed. I actually woke up this morning too early with a hot flash, I'll just be honest. And I turned the red light on, and within a minute, I fell right back to sleep for another hour. So it can work really fast on your mind and your body. But you're right. I had been so busy for so long. There's no way I was going to buy something that would make me feel guilty for not using it. So I have the light attached to my computer by USB port or hands-free. I have it on my elliptical, so it motivates me to work out. It's like my little buddy. You'll feel a connection to your light once you start using it. It's actually your friend. And that's why we have it in a travel case. So we have a big light that's a bigger surface area. And then we invented the MMSphere to go, which is what I think we're giving away today for a lucky listener. And it has a to-go case that you can put your products in it and just bring it with you. So it packs very easily into your suitcase or just by itself. And then you can keep using it 3 times a week. Usually people use it for about 6 weeks and then they take like a 1-month break and then they start again. And plenty of people just keep using it 3 times a week ongoing.
Okay, we have a lot of questions. Is it okay for somebody and good for somebody who's 63 years old?
Yes, we intentionally study people who are a bit older because there is a myth that our collagen doesn't work anymore as we're older. And that's actually not true. As a surgeon, I find that my older people heal even better than some of my younger people. So the answer is 100% yes, it will work for people. And I even have people in their 80s who take the light home for the green light and the blue light because the blue light might kill some of the precancers, and the green light will help their anti-aging.
What about if you're interested in using a few colors? Is it safe to treat with multiple colors on the same day, one after the other?
Yes, actually, we just won 2 awards. One was from InStyle magazine for the best touch-free device. And this device has 9 settings in all 5 colors. And once you get started, I would say pick your favorite color to start with. But like Dr. Taub said, that 20 minutes goes by really fast. So often I'll do a second color treatment. So I'll start with green, and then sometimes I'll click it over to the amber, which I find actually moisturizes the skin, and I don't know why yet. And then at night I'll do the red. The different color lights have different mood effects. So yellow, blue, and green will energize you, and purple and red will make you feel tired because it releases dopamine, reduces anxiety. You're less likely to pick your acne. You're more likely to go to sleep. It's supposed to feel like you're like beloved and hugging somebody, and it'll help you go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This could be like it can get rid of all of our sleep aids too.
Yeah.
But we have a question here. So the user purchases the light device and are then instructed in the office by a dermatologist on how to question mark, or do we rent the device?
You purchase the device at home. We don't have a rental program yet, but you're not the first person to ask about that. So good question. And you just set it up in a place where you think you will use it. Like Dr. Taub said, she'll put it on her breakfast table. I put it by my computer, and you really try to get yourself to just get started using it 3 times a week. I find the biggest impediment to using it is taking it out of the box. So people will go home and they're not sure what to do. So we have an email, it's called hello@mmskincare.com, and we will help you get started. Sometimes get on a video call with you and just be like, okay, let's get started. You will see how simple it is. I designed it to be ergonomic, sleek and beautiful, so easy to use. And the dial is like an old stereo dial. So it's not too techy for those of you who are scared of tech. It's literally like an old tactile click, 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 simple stereo dial.
I love that. How about can people use it every day? Some people are asking, can we use it every day? And
I
what about
most
using it in the morning and the evening?
Most of my patients use it. Think of Christmas. I wore red and green for you guys today. So green in the morning, red at night. Most people will use it every day, green in the morning, red at night. Some people are very compliant and they like a routine like that. Some people, like me, are a little like ADD maybe. And so I'll probably more likely average 3 times a week. And so our studies were really for 3 times a week because I really wanted to see a reasonable amount of time, like what is truly a realistic expectation in terms of results. And that was the 3 times a week. The FDA asked us to tell people to not use it more than 3 or 4 times a day because they were afraid that people would just use it like 10 times a day. And so I think that limiting yourself to 2 to 3 times a day is plenty.
What about blue light? Will that make hyperpigmentation worse?
No, and we've looked at how the melanocytes are stimulated with blue light, and it's really this like continuous wave blue light with heat. Usually it's more of the heat that's been causing the blue light activation. But we have dispelled that. I know some people worry about blue light from their computers, and we think that's actually partially the infrared light that's coming off computers. So we purposely do not have infrared on this LED for that reason. One of our competitors that say that they're a laser, it's because they do have the infrared wavelength on theirs, but I would be concerned about that causing disruption of the skin in a way that we haven't studied.
What about wearing glasses when you're using the light?
So regular glasses so that you can see your cell phone and computers, all that jazz, perfect. I would just use that. Blocking glasses, like we actually do put white opaque goggles in the package that you get for anyone who feels photosensitive. But there have been no complaints of eye issues at all when you're using the light the way we designed it. There are eye issues where the glare of the masks, the LED masks, are so close to the eye that some people did complain about their eyes. And so the Neutrogena mask was actually recalled because the mask was too close to the eyes and they had some issues with like corneal burns and stuff like that. And that's all published information, yeah.
And the thing with where it attaches to the phone, that's just for convenience, right? It doesn't actually, it's not operated by the phone.
No, we actually did launch it with an app and it was so cool because you could take selfies, you could track your progress before and after, but then the iOS updates mean you have to update your app every time. And that's like it's very expensive to keep doing that. So for now, we do not have an app companion. But that's where we were going with it. That is part of our patent actually. And it does have, we thought you could play music, you could share with friends, all that, open the world of LED to others. But right now, the way it is the handle has a magnet. There's a little magnet that would come and like attach to the handle so it would hold your phone better. But right now, we just say, lodge your phone in a little tripod and you can scroll or watch videos, watch YouTube, watch Dr. Taub lectures. And also you could get Dr. Taub's red light cap with her care factor and you could grow your hair at the same time.
Yeah, somebody did ask about hair loss. And
Yeah,
you could probably use this. It's just like not really made for the head.
honestly, it does actually rest on the head. I have it on my head right now, but like, or people do put it on their pillow. And I know that at Wellman Labs where, you know, doc the people who are like leaders in our field are looking at red light and blue light for improvement of hair.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
exciting.
your care factor, isn't your care factor also photodynamic?
Yes, it has a nanofluorosome, which is basically another way of saying that it absorbs light specifically. One of the ingredients actually does have that, and it will, with the red light, after you apply it, it will trigger that. And what that particular ingredient does, which is a form of coumarin, which is, an antioxidant, it actually turns it into an sorry, I'm blanking on the name, an anti-androgen. So we know that our hair follicles, they have receptors for male hormone. And so, a lot of the treatments that are available for hair loss block those receptors so that you don't get hair loss. And this is a natural ingredient that with red light, it will block those receptors without having to take any drugs. It's
I
exciting.
love that. I love that so much. I can't wait to, I mean, we've been using it in our practice now, your care factor for a while, and everyone's so happy with it.
Yeah, it's really a great product. It
Yeah.
really is. So see, we're inventors together. It's
Yes.
fun.
Harnessing the power of photodynamic therapy.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think we have any questions left. Anybody else? Let's see. Is there a difference? Is there differences in effectiveness of green light devices that are on the market?
I can only comment on what we've observed because we haven't been able to test different devices in like a really scientific way. But I think that when you're buying a light, ours has over 100 high-powered LED lights with really pure wavelengths and or as pure as LED can be. And you want to make sure that it's been clinically tested with real people and that those results are on the website so that you can actually see that it's medically and clinically sound and safe. I'm worried that some of them are really inexpensive, low power, and that you're just seeing green, but that you're not actually getting the power of the green light. So probably yes, for sure, yes, there are differences. I'm really proud of our engineering team and that the updates that we've done, we're in our 4th update already in our devices, and we'll continue to do the clinical studies to help push forward this new pioneering medicine in LED light and beauty treatments in LED light.
So what advancements or trends in light therapy do you think are coming up in the next 5 or 10 years?
No, I think the fact that so many people are really knowledgeable now. I love the fact that science and social media are actually aligned here to help educate people about LED light, the use of photon light energy into the skin to convert to ATP to help improve the skin health and mechanisms of the skin, help people steer clear of overuse of ingredients that are chemicals, avoid bad reactions to different products. I think we can actually make an impact even in sustainability and natural, use. And I do love the idea of maybe working with a pharmaceutical company and trying to expand the use of LED activated medicines topically to help rosacea, acne, eczema, psoriasis, all the kinds of things that we treat every day in our practices.
So the red light you said you thought would be good for people with rosacea.
Green light works on redness. So by that anti-inflammation pathway. So green light really does.
That makes sense. I mean, I use a KTP laser every day to treat redness.
532
That's
nanometers.
532.
Yeah. So ours is 517. So it's in that spectrum of, which is why it's so fascinating. We're using it every day in our offices and we don't even realize it.
And I think this is also really good for the trend of like, we call this regenerative medicine.
Yes.
And it is, we're harnessing our own biological processes
Yes.
through outside physical modalities and turning things on that are really maybe not turned on as much as we would like. So that's, I think, a really exciting idea that's going to really take hold in our field in the next 10 years. Not that we haven't already been doing it, but just putting a name on it. Like when we use devices to stimulate collagen formation, that's regenerative. We're using ultrasound or we're using radio frequency. Those are physical things that we are using to enhance our um, cellular metabolism to make more collagen, or in your case, the light to improve inflammation or make our fat more, energetic or take away, some inflammation. It's really, really an exciting arena.
It is so exciting. And you and I are like total geeks on this because we are so excited because we understand enough of it that we're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Exosomes, these things that people are experimenting with, again, really what they're trying to do is what the light is already doing, right? And you specialize in biomimetic things, like that's what this is. You're right. We want to respect and harness physiologically what we're already capable of doing. And that's why our Instagram is Skincare Genius. It's not that you and I are geniuses, it's that our body is genius. It is so amazing. And if we can just harness its power, we can do so much with it.
And so it's really true. It doesn't matter whether 63 or 40 or 80, you still have all the same DNA that you always had. There might be some other things in the way of it. Like, for instance, there's this recent paper that I'm so excited about where they literally, instead of like infusing something external like exosomes from babies or young people to make somebody be younger, they were just doing, plasmapheresis. So they take your plasma out and they exchange it with just saline, and they found that people were expressing genes of much younger people. And a lot of it is just taking away the cellular garbage. It may just be that we're just too cluttered up with some of the garbage, and as we age, we're not able to get rid of the garbage. And so maybe light also is like making our cells work more, and we're able to achieve something better that way.
You are telling what you're saying right now, there's transcranial treatments with light. So they use an LED light on the head, and right now it's red light. And with transcranial red LED light, it's cleaning out the Alzheimer's cells because they accumulate formaldehyde in the cells and then we become demented. So they're using red LED light to do what you just said, like clean out too much of the toxins. And for that one, it's the formaldehyde for better brain function.
So light is going to be a big part of our life, I think, in the future. We all like light. Nobody likes darkness.
Nobody likes dark.
No, you can't see anything. Well, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey in innovating skincare technologies?
I think this kind of conversation that I'm having with somebody I respect so much in the field of dermatology, I think that, none of us want to put forth ideas that are false or kind of, overstated. And I feel so good about having done these studies. We have real facts that we can use as a springboard to learn more and really help our patients. And the fact that you are here today talking to me about it and that I've been able to speak internationally at conferences and, publish and continue to do research with really respected researchers, it to me is a dream come true. And then when my patients come in and they're like, oh my God, my skin is so good. Finally, I found what I need. And they use it every day. It just is, it's so gratifying and exciting. So we really hope to expand. We're a little tiny company. And I know that many people on this call are genius entrepreneurs, but like really that's what we're looking forward to.
That's awesome. This has been so much fun. Dr. Marmur, I want to thank you so much for sharing your invention and your ideas with us. I'm so excited to be having the MMSphere at our SkinFo store, and I'm so, hoping that it's going to become a phenomenon in our office too. And I'm looking forward to using it myself. So this has been like super fun to have this time with you.
Same. Thank you so much. What a pleasure. And Dr. Taub, you're the best, my hero. So thank you very much to everybody today.